You don't look autistic. You must be mild. Sound familiar? Today we're talking about the label mild autism, what it actually means, what it doesn't, and why masking and support needs tell a much deeper story than a label ever could. If you were diagnosed late, like I was, this might hit especially close to home. Let's start here. Mild autism isn't a clinical diagnosis. It's a term often used casually, sometimes dismissively, to label someone who doesn't appear to be autistic. But autism isn't measured by how much it shows. It's measured by the support an autistic person needs in a neurotypical world. So no, there isn't mild autism. There is, however, autism with low support needs, autism with high support needs, and that's a better way to talk about it. Autism is diagnosed based on differences in communication, sensory regulation, social interaction, and even repetitive behaviours, not on how well you hide those differences. A person with high support needs might need help with basic things, daily living, communication, regulation of their emotions, and they might be non-speaking. But here's the twist. Support needs can change daily, they can change hourly, they can change by the minute, and they change with age. You can have low support needs on paper, but behind the scenes you feel like you are hanging on by the thinnest of threads, and yet you're unable to communicate that effectively. And that's because you've masked so well for so long that it's just easier for you to hide than it is for you to actually speak up and advocate for yourself. Masking is the chameleon-like behaviour that we do in order to fit into the neurotypical world around us. It's copying facial expressions, it's forcing eye contact, hiding stims, and scripting conversations. High masking often looks like you're fine until you're not. It's common in late diagnosed women especially. Low or no masking just means someone who is more visibly autistic, who isn't using those chameleon behaviours, those masking traits in order to fit in and appear neurotypical. And here's the issue. Those who are high masking or low support needs are often the ones who burn out easily because masking costs energy. It costs us in fatigue, it costs us in a plethora of health issues that will often crop up when we ignore the fact that we are feeling burnt out or that we are not coping. And while the world praises masking, i.e., you don't look autistic, behind the scenes there is a very high cost to those of us who are masking. Some of the cost is confusion with your identity, imposter syndrome, anxiety, depression, higher health needs, lower immunity, stomach issues, a plethora of different physical medical issues that happen because we are suppressing our true selves. So again, what looks mild to you is us in survival mode, and it's not healthy. What does it look like between someone who's diagnosed in childhood and someone who's diagnosed much later in life? Someone diagnosed in childhood might get early interventions. They learn to understand that they do think differently, that things are very different for them, and perhaps they are provided with support, but at the very least, they're usually provided with some form of understanding that they're just different and that's okay. Those of us who are diagnosed later in life, like myself, don't know that. And for the majority of our lives, we've felt like there's something inherently wrong with us, that we're unable to cope with things that people seem to be able to cope with, or maybe they're just better at coping than we are because we feel like we're on the edge so much of the time. You'll find that a lot of people who are late diagnosed have had a variety of different jobs, and maybe it's because they've changed jobs because it's just burnt them out, or they've changed jobs because it's no longer something that they find interesting, and that is more prevalent with ADHD than it is with autism. But at the end of the day, it means that we have a lot of grief to process. feeling like you're broken or there's something inherently wrong with you or that you've somehow got character defects has a major impact on your self-esteem, how you view yourself and where you fit in the world. And oftentimes you've felt your entire life like you don't fit, but you don't know why. And those who are diagnosed earlier in life have the ability to start understanding themselves with the correct lens. Those of us diagnosed later have viewed ourselves through the wrong lens for such a long time, and unraveling all of that can take some time. Unmasking is a journey. I've shared about that before, and I'll share a couple of links in the description below so that you can check out those videos. Unmasking is something that happens once you learn what it is that you've been masking, and that takes some time too. You have to be gentle with yourself when you're late diagnosed. The clarity that comes with now understanding that you're not broken, that there's not something inherently wrong with you, that you're just neurodivergent, comes with a sense of relief. Relief to know that, okay, that's all it is. Great. Now I get to learn how to live life on the spectrum. You get to share with people around you that you're not lazy. You're autistic, or you have ADHD, or perhaps like me, you have both. And you're learning how to live life now through that lens instead of the one where you felt like you just did not fit and there was something wrong with you. So what actually matters? Well, first up, let's drop the labels, shall we? Mild, severe, level 1, level 2. We're all on the spectrum. We each have different days, different hours, different ages, and it changes. And it's not going to be the same tomorrow as it is today. And it's not going to be the same next year as it was last year. And that's okay. Learning how your unique brain works and what support you need, and understanding when you need that support, and learning how to use your voice in order to advocate for yourself is one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself now that you know. Let's focus on what actually matters. How supported are you? Do you feel safe being yourself? Are your needs met? Sensory, social, emotional? Do you know how to advocate for yourself? Or are you still learning that, like a lot of us? Autism is not a straight line from mild to severe. It's called a spectrum for a reason. It's a constellation of traits, of needs and strengths and areas where we need support. And they show up differently for each of us. So next time someone says to you, oh, you must have mild autism, remember this. How someone appears on the outside rarely reflects the internal experience. Masking can hide needs. Late diagnosis doesn't mean less autistic. And no two autistic lives look the same. If this resonates, you're not alone. You don't have to prove your autism to anyone. If you're late diagnosed like me and still working out what support needs look like for you, then I invite you to subscribe. I share videos each week on unmasking, how to live life authentically, and what I'm doing as I'm learning to live life on the spectrum. Whether you're newly diagnosed, questioning, or supporting someone who is autistic, this video is here to validate your experience and hopefully offer some clarity. If you've stayed here this long, thanks for watching, thanks for being here, and I look forward to catching you in the next one.